You want to start off a giant stream with this energy, this pomp, this circumstance, this ability. You just want to revel in this team so much. But the problem is this team just, I mean, they are an enigma wrapped in a riddle. They are a quandary. They are just this thing that you kind of think to yourself, you never want to say it could get worse. You never want to say it can't get any worse, but then it just gets worse. That being said, of course, Malik Nabers is out for Sunday, per Brian Dable about 15 minutes ago. I mean, what do you say? I mean, really, what do you do? It is what it is. And I keep wondering, do you fault the quarterback for this injury? Because technically I fault him. I do. I fault Daniel Jones for what happened. Because of the fact that I know we said this before, he overuses this kid. He puts this kid in vicarious situations where he's going to potentially get hurt. He threw him a 4th and 6, or was it 4th and 8, on the sidelines where you knew he had to extend out to get the ball. He had to tippy toe and stretch out of bounds and landed right on his head. Not to mention the fact that the likes of Devin Singletary was open right in front of Malik Nabers. Who was texting me? Yeah, I know. Texting me, I know. I know. I'm online. So you throw so you don't throw the guy that's open, but you try to make a rookie wide receiver make a tippy-toe catch. And then you got some moron Giant fans are like, well, maybe Malik Nabers has dropped 2 balls on 4th down. He's just not clutch. He's been targeted 45 times in 3 games. Now you're going to see what life is with Daniel Jones without Malik Nabers, who has saved Daniel Jones on numerous situations, numerous times. Thank God for the Mets. Thank God for the Knicks. Thank God for the new podcast, New York Knicks Unleashed, the 2024 season. It will be up on Monday. The first episode is going to be here on this channel as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. New York Knicks Unleashed, the 2024 season. Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. What was Mike Lee saying? Afternoon, Tim, and the religious members. Smash the like button on the way in. Mike Lee says, another get right game, but alas, not for us. Because you know who's going to wreck this game for us.
King of the almost sack.
Who, according to Zach Sacks, leads the league in quarterback hits, not sacks, not pressures. He leads the league in quarterback hits. Now, Juan says Nabers is officially out. Yes, and Malik is officially out. I was thinking that they weren't going to let him travel to Seattle. And the reason I was thinking about this was the fact that if anyone who's had a concussion, I've had I had numerous concussions. It sometimes hurts your head to ride the bus. Now imagine you're going to take a cross-country flight. And that's what happens with Nabers. Right now, Dave Law says cornerbacks Phillips and Adoree Jacksons are both who missed week 4 with calves are trending in the right direction, but likely to be listed as questionable depending on how they progress through Friday's practice. We're also waiting to see the status on Devin Singletary. That should be interesting as well. Online Big Blue says out. I like that one. Out. Hold on. I told her out. I like that. That was me. Out. Hold on. Where am I? Out. Big Blue says can't stand this team. It's not the team in its totality. It's just the fact that it's an organization where they just can't get anything right. They literally can't get out of their own way. Now, injuries happen. So it's not like you have to sit there and say, hey, listen, he had an injury. You have to blame the team and blah, 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 blah. Injuries happen. Injuries happen all the time. But the problem is, I think this was an injury that you probably could have avoided if you didn't overuse this guy and throw to him 45 times in 3 games. Wanda Robinson's next on the team, and I think it's like with like 30 something or 20 something 8 targets. But problem was 11 of them came in one. 11 of them came in one game. What do we got here? Morning, Dave. What's up, Emmanuel? Yo, what's up, man? I haven't talked to you man in a while. Every time I watch the quarterbacks play, I think, wow, what if the Giants had one? I love the people that used to say, hey, Kirk Cousins is a terrible quarterback. We got a better quarterback than Daniel Jones than we do with Kirk Cousins. Didn't he just throw for 500 yards? Daniel Jones literally takes about 3 games to throw for 500 yards. 3 games. Because he usually throws like a $150. Sterling Shepard had a touchdown too. Dave, he says, well, Tim, at least it can't get any worse. That's how it works, right? No, you never say that. You never say it can't get any worse because it always gets worse. It always rockets down the fucking hill. And we're rocketing down. What's up, Skyline? Dave says, I watched Kirk Cousins play last night, even though I didn't think Cousins is elite. I thought, wow, we could win a Super Bowl with him. I don't know if we would win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins, but we would be extremely competitive. You take this offensive line, the way it's been protecting the quarterback, you take the ability to drop in the likes of Malik Nabers. I have a feeling that Kurt would find Jalen Hyatt deep. I have a feeling that he would find Slayton deep and actually, I don't know, fucking weird thing. Throw the ball. Oh, shit. Davey! What's up, Davey? I haven't seen Davey in a while. Davey, are you wearing a Mets shirt? What's next? A Sauce Gardner? I'm a Met fan. I've been a Met fan since 81. I got so much. You think I got a lot of Giant shit? I got so much Met shit out there. It's not even funny. So, hey, Chris, for the love of MMA, what's up, big Chris? Smash that like button. Make sure you do it. Chris says, Zach Attack says, Tommy freaking DeVito, Tyler Ron Taylor won games with the same wide receivers minus Nabers. If we just had an average quarterback with good processing, we would have won some of those games. Our defense is still suspect. Even though they've played well, they are still suspect. So I wouldn't go crazy with that. If you had a quality quarterback in Saquon Barkley, yeah, I would say we'd probably win some games. We probably won. Roy from Indian Lands, South Carolina. What's up, Roy? Peace to the chat. Davey says, I thought it was friendly pass rusher. It is the friendly pass rusher. We got a lot of we have the friendly pass rusher. We have the Ghost Brothers. We got them all. I have a feeling Jones will get hurt during the game. I don't laugh because of the fact that I kind of thought the same thing. And I didn't want to say anything, but I kind of thought the same thing, that watch Daniel Jones get hurt during this game. And you don't wish ill on anyone to get hurt. You don't wish ill on anyone to get injured. But I just laughed because I literally thought the same thing. And then I thought to myself, this is a Drew Lock game. This is a Drew Lock game. Think about this. Drew Lock played in Seattle. In a garage band in Seattle. Boy, that sure beats raising cattle. Going back to the Seahawks. The Drew Lock revenge game. Yankee fans here. But being a Knicks fans, I'm for the Mets. Listen, you got to be with the Mets. You got to be for the Mets to beat the Phillies. You need a Subway Series. The Mets need to exercise the ghosts of Roger Clemens and the bat incident with Mike Piazza. We need to exercise those demons. What's up, Alejandro? Sup, Tim? It's crazy that Kirk Cousins can throw for 4 touchdowns, 500 yards, and only make $45 million a year, while Daniel Jones is 15 touchdowns a year. Kirk Cousins, man, and that whole comeback win, Kirk Cousins was in fuego. If you want to say it, they are in fuego at the moment. I'm reading 11 wins away from forever. Bryce Harper built October, being another chase for his first title. Bryce Harper has been chasing his first title for the Phillies for a while now. Not saying they're not going to do it, but they have a hot team with Francisco Lindor staring down the barrel of the New York freaking Mets. Drake London, 154 yards. Mooney, 105. Pitts, 88. And Bijan Robinson still ran for 61 on 5 a carry, 8.8 yards an attempt for 509 freaking yards, 4 touchdowns, and he was still sacked 4 times. Daniel Jones gets sacked once, throws for 157, a touchdown interception, and people are like, what a great year. What a great game he just had. Did you see that? He threw for 157 and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins throws for 500 yards and 4, still gets sacked 4 times. I think Giants fans would lose their fucking mind. I want to lose all the games of the season so we can secure that first overall pick, but I know we are going to screw it up. We're going to screw it up. We're going to get towards the end of the season. We're going to have like 2 wins, and we're going to win 4 in a row. You know that, Davey. Come on. Zacatech says, king of the almost sack.
King of the almost sack.
That's 1.5 sacks, which is a half sack more than Thibodeau. Yeah. Nick says we're going to be easy to defend. It's not going to be difficult, especially even with Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is a nice back. He's a nice second, third back. He's not a bell cow. Eric Gray, the Gray Ghost. Well, he likes to fumble. And then you got Tracy, who is a former college wide receiver, converted to running back his last year in college, who hadn't really played any type of running back since high school. But that's going to be our running game with the likes of Wandale, Slayton, and Hyatt. And we have 0 tight end presence. This is the week that seals DJ's fate. Since they say he's been playing good, let's see how good he really plays on Sunday. My question is this, and I was thinking about this, and I was going to do a poll, but I got no fucking clue how to do a poll. If Daniel Jones loses today, it's on Sunday. If he puts up an okay game, not a stinker, but an okay game, and you're 1-5, do you go with the likes of Drew Lock? Do you head that way? Do you go that way? And I'm trying to figure this out because I'm thinking to myself, if you're 1-4, you got a pretty tough schedule coming up still. You got a home game against Cincinnati, then you head over to Philadelphia. I mean, really, what do you do? Do you stick with Daniel Jones? Because I have a feeling he is, and someone else just mentioned in the chat a minute ago, I have a feeling he's going to get wrecked on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to get injured, but I have a feeling he is going to get wrecked. And you kind of want to sit there and think to yourself, well, if he does, can we just figure something out where we can just go a different situation? But then to some people's points, if you do that, are we put in a vicarious situation that we may win some games, but we may screw up our draft position to get a quarterback? And I know you should always have the capability and the thought process to win a game. I know that. I get that. I'm 100% for that you should always have the ability to go out there and try to win. That should be your only thought process as an NFL team. I don't know. Alvarez says Jones with the ball so far out of bounds that Malik couldn't brace himself after the pass and face plant. That's what I love this, because people are like, he should have had that catch. All right, dummy. Not you, Mr. Alvarez. I'm just saying people that say that about him. And I've said this before. You think it's so easy? Go outside, line up your garden hose, have someone throw it at least 1.5 yards outside the other side of the garden hose. You do a toe tap, catch the ball, and face plant, and show me how easy it is for that to work. Just show me. That's like when Saquon Barkley, in the Dallas game, he threw the interception. That people are like, well, it bounced off of Barkley. Barkley stopping in his tracks, trying to go backwards to catch a ball, still was able to get his hands on it, but it was intercepted. But it was Barkley's fault. It wasn't the bad throw by Jones. No, not at all. G-Man 2011 says, the quarterback play in the last night's game was great. Made playing offense look easy. Well, it's funny. I still don't understand how. I mean, you got Baker throwing 3 touchdowns, but Baker only threw for 180 and still threw 3 touchdowns. That's the other thing. Baker Mayfield, still quarterback rating of 137.5, only threw 19 for 24 for 180 for 7, still with 7.5 yards a play and 3 touchdowns. 2 to Mike Evans. One, of course, to the former Giant Sterling Shepard. G-Man says, have no pass rush, no secondary, no run defense. Seattle can run. Oh, Kenneth Walker III is going to kill us. And pass pretty well. We're screwed. Geno Smith is going to rip us up. Kenneth Walker is going to rip us up. We got that. They got that other running back. You got DK Metcalf is going to kill us. Big wide receiver. I don't care who we have I don't care if Dory Jackson comes back. I don't care if it's Banks. Metcalf's going to eat our lunch. And he's going to get deep. You are forewarned. He is going to get deep. David says, hey, Tom, I heard that if we cut Jones next year, we can split his dead cap number over to making it $10 million each year. Is that correct? I don't know who could do that. No, I don't know, David. That's not right. That's not right. You know, I don't know. David says, I think they signed Drew Lock thinking he is on an Andrew Lock. Oh, Andrew Luck. I was like, Drew Lock is his name, not Luck. Get me confused there. Happy for them. The Mets, I'm happy for him. Yeah, me and the Mets, I'm happy for the Mets too. Davey says the Knicks got cat and we're all ready to meow. Meow. We got the cat. We should have had the cat like 7 years ago, but we're not going to get into the Knicks winning those garbage games with Dennis Smith Jr. at the end of the season, which cost us our draft position. We're not going to get into that because that might make me upset. Not going to get into that. But those that do not know, New York Knicks Unleashed is coming out Monday. New York Knicks Unleashed, the podcast is coming out. I will be broadcasting at times on Wednesday of next week, live courtside at the Knicks game because they have their first one of the first preseason games. So I will be at that game, sitting courtside, doing a little Knicks play-by-play. Well, I don't know if I'm doing play-by-play, but we'll do something. We'll do something fun. Zach Tech said the Giants' run blocking has been worse, while the pass blocking has been good. Daniel Jones has been credited with all but 4 sacks. I said this when we went out and got Ellie Moore Fudd. I said this when you went out and got Runyon. Neither one of them are capable run blockers. They are better pass blockers than they are run blockers. They are not road pavers. And that's just not what their forte is. So you're never going to have that incredible push that you think that you should have at this point in time. Hey, Zach Tech. Have you been bugging R0B about Bobby Johnson over in Washington with literally no offensive line talent? And for those that say, well, he's got the mobile quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Well, the problem is most offensive linemen will tell you the worst quarterback to block for is a mobile quarterback because you never know where that person's going to be. Do you have the song Bring It Home Mets or the 87 Let's Go Mets Go? First of all, Let's Go Mets Go. Let's Go Mets Go is what you call it, is the 86 season. Well, that's with Joe Piscopo in that. We actually played it. We played it last stream. Yeah, we did. So I don't know. Do I still have it? I gotta see if I still hold on. We got the teamwork to make the dream. I don't even need to play. I'll just sing it for you. There you go. There you go. There we go. See, I can do the whole video. You don't even need to watch it. I'll just do the video for you. Do it. Let's go. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Let's go, Mets. I could do the whole song. Nothing like another New York team knocking out by Philly. We're going to take out the Phillies, man. Don't you worry about it. Devin Singletary would have been a great complimentary back to Saquon Barkley. Actually, no, he wouldn't. He's too small. When you have the likes of Saquon Barkley, you need a bruiser. You need a guy that's going to move the pile. You need the Brandon Jacobs type who's going to put his head in the pile and just keep going forward. That's what you need. Problem with Devin Singletary, to me, he at this stage in his career, he's a third down back. We've said it before. The Texans lost a good portion of their skill player at the wide receiver. And instead of going with a grind out type game with the Texans, they went with the rookie quarterback still. And Singletary only had 850 yards. And that's his best season. Razzle says, where are the likes? Hanging out with Jalen Hyatt, I guess. Pumps in the rumps. But I was gonna do pumps in the bumps. What do we got here? Davey says Saquon Barkley is a Ferrari, 60 seconds and 4 seconds, but always on the mechanic. Singletary is a Toyota Camry, 6.8, always on the field. Which one will you take? I'll take Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley at this exact moment, Davey, leads the league in rushing and touchdowns. So yeah, and he's actually, people credit him for that loss in Philadelphia. But actually, it was the head coach's stupidity that cost him that game. And Bill Parcells said it. You don't lose a game on one play. There's 5 or 6 plays that lead up during the game that lead up to that one play. If you get those 5 or 6 plays, you don't need to worry about that one play. And people forget the credit that Saquon Barkley should get for basically winning 2 games single-handedly for Philadelphia, one against the Packers, and the one just the other day against Saints, 2 weeks ago against Saints. Nick says, we don't need him to be okay or a true franchise quarterback. Put his team on his back and does whatever it is. Takes a win no matter what. Who is out there? We need a quarterback. I've always, people say, you don't need a quarterback to win the Super Bowl. You don't. You don't need that big time quarterback. You can win it without a big time quarterback. Let's see here. You got the teamwork. Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. And of course, that one game was Nick Foles, but then you had the likes. We could just keep going. But I'm not gonna. What do we got there? Joby Esquire says Davis is tanking until 2026 for Archie. Is it true, DJ will be our quarterback next year? Oh, I think he'll be the quarterback next year. I 100% believe in all of my heart that Daniel Jones will be this quarterback will be here year 7, no matter what happens. I believe that in all my heart of hearts. Nick says, ironically, DJ's last year against Seattle with no Barkley, without Nabers, need him to carry us, and he folds like a cheap tent. Don't disagree. Stu says, good afternoon, all. Mr. Alvarez. Luckily, the quarterback class is considered weak, so as long as we're close to the top 10, our next quarterback could still be in play. This is not last year. This is not 2004. This is not 83. I think the Carson Beck bloom is coming off the rose a little. Cam Ward is stepping up. Sanders has got some warts. What's his name? Quinn Ewers, whatever. I can never say his name. He may not get on the field with Arch. You got what's his name? Milrow. This is not the class. Last year was a class. Baker is a better version of what Daniel Jones could have been. I don't think so. I've always liked Baker Mayfield. And I've said it before, if I was the Giants, I probably would have tried to go out after that 2022 season and sign someone like Baker Mayfield. Because of the fact that he's got this grit, he's got this moxie. People are like, well, if things go bad from a New York, he's going to be sullen. Well, you know what? This poor guy basically kicked out of the Browns, got kicked out of the Panthers in 1 year, got kicked out of the Rams, and then took an $8 million deal to go to the Bucs and threw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns. This guy has a pedigree. First season, 3,700, 27-14. Next year, 3,800, 27-21. Then he had the big year in the 3,500, 26-8. Then he had 3,017 and 13 when he got kicked out of Cleveland. Then he still threw for 10 touchdowns between the Rams and the Panthers against 8 interceptions. And then last year at 4,000, 28 and 10. He's got this arrogance. He's got this moxie. He's got this grit that I think New York fans would have loved. I remember when he came out that year and people were shocked that he was the first overall pick. I wasn't. I was like, he's a winner. Razzle says, Geno Smith pitches 4 touchdowns in the first half and runs all over our defense. Geno Smith is a mobile enough quarterback that you're right. If we over pursue with Kayvon and Burns, Geno is capable enough to step up and take off on his own. He's not going to need a design play. I Googled it, and this is what it says. Yes, the NFL teams allow teams to spread a dead cap over multi-years if the player is released or traded after January 1. That is correct, but like I said, they're not getting rid of him. And Joe Shane had that ability to do that on a couple other players, and he didn't. He took the full cap hit he took the full cap hit up front. Probably good that Nabers get some rest. These corners are some thumpers. Oh, I worried about this. Love, I don't know if he's playing yet, but their secondary is not something to sneeze at. Their secondary's got some dudes. It's not the Legion of Doom or Legion of Boom, but they got some thumpers. We got Zach, I'm going to call him Chardonnay. Is the other running back a guy who I said on the stream the Giants should have drafted? But nope, they would rather stick with the franchise tag and say Barkley or Gray during the draft cycle. You're right. I trust Dable because in Hard Knocks, he knew Jaden Daniels was a great quarterback. It's a good idea to know if you have a great quarterback, but the problem is you have to actually go out and get a quarterback. You have to literally sit there, and this is what has to happen. In the third round with 157th pick, the New York Giants select quarterback. You actually have to do that. You got to write the name on the little card and hand it into the commissioner so he can read it off. OJ Anderson type. Yeah, I agree. That's what we need. That Corolla only gets a quarter mile instead of a full 500 legs. The Barkley move. What's up, Philosophy Stoner? I haven't seen you in a while. Tim, what's up? Without Neighbors, DJ is about to get exposed. And you don't want us exposing ourselves. Ghostbusters. Barkley leading the league in rushing. Who needs that bum Giant fans? Oh, I know. Can you just be happy for the guy? That's my thing. Can you literally just be happy for he's leading the league in rushing. He's doing what he's done, what he did that first year when he had a quarterback coming out of Penn State. Just be happy for the guy. Hyatt is 2.0 Tony. I don't know if he's 2.0 Tony, to be honest, because you never throw him the ball. You throw Tony the ball, he drops it. Outside of that one game when Mike Lennon was the quarterback. But you don't throw Hyatt the ball. And when you do, it's short, and the poor kid's got to come back. Joey, what's up, Joey? So are we tanking? And good afternoon, Tim. I don't think we're tanking. I do not think we're tanking. Davey says, you don't need a good quarterback to win a Super Bowl, but you need a star defense. Actually, no, that's not true. Go look at the Cleveland. Go look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Go look at some of the defenses in New England. It helps if you have a great defense. Tony is on the Browns now. Interesting. I didn't know Tony was on the Browns. I didn't see that. Let's see here. We got actually Archie can be available after next year. Let's see here. Neighbors needs to rest. We are absolutely cooked. I think we're cooked. I think we're fried. I think we're fricasseed. I think we're all those things in one. Right now, they were 6.5 point favorites, Seattle, before the Neighbors news came out. So they were 6.5 point favorites. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. They were 6.5 point favorites before the Neighbors went out. So peace, Tim. My name is Willie.
Gotta get to work. That's right. Yes. Come on. My name is Willie. Baby, I keep the ladies screaming, and all my fans got screaming. You can defeat me. You're dreaming.
There we go. June 1st, not January 1st. Thank you, Stu. Salad Boy says, why do the Giants fans have an assumption with such ad players? Hyatt has probably played 20 snaps the whole season, drops the ball, but Giants fans talk about him like he's Jerry Rice. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Listen, I admit it. I was a big Jalen Hyatt fan when he was coming out of Tennessee. I thought there was something there. I thought if the Giants took him in the second round, I wouldn't have been upset. Hell, but they took him in the later half of the first round, I said I wouldn't be upset. But the problem is this. I thought that he would be like a Devontae Smith and use his speed and athleticism and quickness to get off the line. He is still getting jammed at the line against bigger corners. he still hasn't figured how to get off the ball and how to get off the ball and get back into his route and back into stride. He still hasn't figured that out yet. We're going into week 5 of his second year. And the poor kid is still having the same issues that he has had since his rookie season. So I can't sit there and tell you, how great he's going to be or how great he's not going to be until he literally catches the ball. I mean, right now his catch percentage for the New York Giants on 3 targets is 0.0. So, I mean, his snap count right now, he's only, and this is the thing, in 4 games, he technically started 1 game too. He's got a 51% snap count, 19% of the offensive plays. I think that's what we refer to as underutilization. I think that's what we refer to. Joey G says, let's go Mets, Mets, Mets. Davey says, Michael Dudu knew the Mahomes was good quarterback too. He did. James is in his house. I feel like no one is talking about this, but Shane's first big mistake is not trading for one of the picks back in 2022. Yeah, it was one of the mistakes because Shane was so smart. Well, nobody could screw up 5 and 7. I just still love that to this day. Him sitting there on that interview going, yeah, I love this camera now because now it just moves with it. I'm a genius. Nobody could screw up 5 and 7. Oh, screw these chumps from Jersey. Sorry, Dex. It's about them kids from Queens. You got Lindor, I think, is from Dominican. You felt good for Pete Alonso. I'm actually wearing a Pete Alonso jersey. You felt good for Pete Alonso because he hadn't hit a home run in 47 at bats until that big home run in the 9th. I remember watching the end of the game yesterday, like, oh, we're so screwed. Another Met loss, another Met letdown after that game 2 disaster. I was like, this is it. We're done. Boom, shakalaka. Oh, that, of course, is from NBA Jams. Davey says, I hate the Eagles, but I support Barkley completely and hope he gets what he deserves. Marcus says, today, it blows my mind that we did not at least sign Baker as a backup quarterback for 2022. We could have gotten him for pennies on the dollars. You're right. Literally pennies on the dollar. We have talked in the past about doing a live stream from a location, from a bar, from a restaurant. And I laugh because of the fact that we are actually going to be doing one. we are going to be doing a live broadcast in Clifton, New Jersey. All the details are not 100% finalized yet, but it's going to be the Steelers game. So make sure you know, if you're in the Clifton, New Jersey area, which is about 15 minutes outside of the stadium, make sure you come in and, say hello. And, we're going to do it. We're going to start it at, I believe, 7:00. And we're going to run through the second half, and Lord knows we may run through the first quarter. So I want to make sure everyone knows about that. Once we get more details in, it's going to be at the Shannon Rose in Clifton, New Jersey, 7 p.m. And it's going to be on the against the game against the Steelers. We're going to be doing the live stream from the bar. It's a bar and restaurant, so we're going to be doing the live stream from the bar and restaurant. So if you live in the Clifton, New Jersey area, or if you're just around and want to stop in, we got some regulars that are going to be stopping in as well. So the game starts at 8:15. We are going to be there we're going to start at 7. We'll give you full details on everything when we just hashed it out, most of it today. But again, like I said, it's going to be in Clifton, New Jersey. It's going to be I believe it's, what's the date? I'll give you the date. Oh, I don't know where my calendar is. What is it? It's October 28th. We're going to be, it's against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to be at Shannon's. We're going to be at Shannon Rose. It's an Irish bar. Shockingly, I know this is shocking. It's an Irish bar. And we're going to do the live stream starting at 7 p.m. from there. We're going to go through halftime. So if you're in the area, you're in Jersey, come on down. We got the big old super chat here. Let's see what the big old super chat's for King number 1 Supreme. People think I'm cocky. BD had Brian Daboll's team competing while only having one weapon and a mid-level quarterback. Ideally, the Giants give Dabes next year and get him a top quarterback in the draft. This team isn't far away. Here's the problem. Here's the issue with that thought process. You started 7-2 that season, Kings number 1 Supreme. You finished 2-5-1. Those 7-2 games, you only won the Tennessee game because of a missed field goal at the end. You only won the Jacksonville game because of 2 bad penalties called on would-be interceptions that vis-a-vis Daniel Jones that were called back, and you stopped the Jacksonville Jaguars on the 1-yard line. And there was 2 other games that we probably should have lost. Since then, since that 7-2 start, which is now over a year and a half ago, I think we're 8-20-1. That's all I'm going to throw there. We're 8-20-1. So that's just what we need to think about. To date, I already got that one. Chumps. James has hit that like button. We're gonna feel for Hyatt. All the wide receivers have the exact same physical play style. It's like a tryout. I mean, like I said, Hyatt's got to figure out how to get off the line. He's got to figure out how to get off the line. He's got to figure it out. He's got to figure out how he can beat his defender in stride, do not get knocked off his route, and then he's got to figure that out. And he's going to have to figure out in Seattle quickly. Davey says the only team that won a Super Bowl with a bad quarterback that I can think of was the Ravens with Trent Dilfer. Yeah, I know I spelled it wrong, and that was a while ago. Rules changed a lot. Trent Dilfer was a bad quarterback. You also won a game with Nick Foles, so that's awful. You also won Denver won a game with basically a shot Peyton Manning. Some people say that Eli Manning was a below average quarterback and he won 2 Super Bowls. I mean, you got to, like I said, the problem is you've been so dominated by the Patriots and the Chiefs that you kind of forget that you go back. You know, Doug Williams won the Super Bowl. Doug Williams wasn't a great quarterback. Jim Plunkett won a Super Bowl. He wasn't a great quarterback. The Punky QB won one, but of course he had the 85 Bears defense. So it's possible. What's up, Petro? I think the Giants need coach speak from any given Sunday. You got to claw inch by inch, yard by yard. I don't remember the whole speech. Ghost says Jalen can't develop if the quarterback can't get him the ball. Here's the problem. Even when Jalen got the ball last year and the quarterback got him the ball, do you know what his catch percentage was last year? 47.5. It was targeted 40 times and only caught 47.5% of his targets in 17 games. That's a problem. He played in over 50% of the offensive snaps his rookie year and didn't even have a catch percentage of 50%. He dropped a lot. That's a problem. Peter says this team will never do anything unless DJ leaves. Legit, no point in watching until they take the man out. Throw all the wide receivers into pressure. Also, do you think he's overthrowing because of his neck injury? First of all, he's underthrowing. He's not overthrowing. If he overthrew, I'd be like, oh my God. Even on some of his deep completions, you watch the wide receivers slow up for the ball. He's what I like to refer to as a lollipop thrower now. I've said this before. I said this about Dwayne Haskins, RIP. Didn't like Dwayne Haskins coming out of college. I said he is a lollipop thrower, and he throws with that overarching throw on his deep passes. And the problem is that allows defenders to get underneath the ball. Daniel Jones is doing that now, but he's doing it short, which is even twice as dangerous because you take a look at the free play that he threw an interception because he threw it short. Leave it to the Giants front office guy to be a moron. Brewers choked. Brewers didn't choke. The Mets took it. Davey says we need to have a game on your podcast throwing Giant players from the past, i.e. Maurice Carthen. Remember him? Hint, hint. He's number 44. No, I know nothing about Maurice Carthen, the former Jersey General who came over to the Giants when the Jersey Generals folded. He was also a back that ran for over 1,000 yards the same season that Herschel Walker ran for 1,000 yards. Of course, he would played over in Arkansas. Played for the Giants for quite a while, till 91. Then had one last year with the Colts. It's interesting. He only had 3 touchdowns in his career. One of them was a receiving touchdown. A lot of people don't remember that because everyone thinks he was a bruising back, but he was just a blocker after he got to the Giants because he had to block for the likes of Joe Morris and O.J. Anderson. Joe Morris, of course, replaced Butch Woolfolk back at the end of that 85 season. Actually, he replaced him back at the end of the 84 season. But that's okay. No, don't know anything about Maurice Carthen. Should we try to tank out the season at this point in time? No. I'm a season ticket holder, man. I want to win some games. I want to go to games that you actually can win. Wild Wave says Shane had opportunities to build the team the right way. He had calls for pick 5 back in 2022, and this year he had calls for 6. Could have filled a lot of holes. Elected not to. Listen, you can't argue with the Malik Nabers pick. You can argue that you shouldn't have taken him at 6, that you had other guys that are later in this draft that, while they do not have the stats as Nabers does, they are playing well in this league. So yes, you could have went back, still got your wide receiver, picked up maybe another low end first round pick to a high end second round pick, and and filled some holes in this team. What's the magic number for the wins not to fire everyone? I say 6 to 7. I kind of feel like you gotta fire. If you win only 6 games, I think you gotta fire everyone. Still do. You're going to go into year 4. And right now, let's think this through. There are, so we played 4 games, so there's 13 games left in the season. So let's say you win 6, that means you basically went 6-11. So that means your win total is going to be 14, 34, and 1 over the last 2.5 years. That's not good. Davey says, I've been told not to mess with New Jersey Highway Patrol in the Garden State Parkway. Is that I don't the Parkway, but stay and also just avoid them on the Turnpike as much as possible. That's Jersey Turnpike. I hope to God DJ is gone after this year. I can't do another year of the bare bones supporting cast thanks to the anchor of a contract. But don't worry, it was the greatest contract ever. Seattle says 40. Ask me says 40 to 60. We're not doing the scores yet. That's Sunday. How long will you give DJ until you pull the plug? I would have pulled the plug. I'm going to pull the plug first week. I would have given them the big, you know what? Like the cartoons, they have that big hook and they pull people off stage. I would have given them the big hook that first week. I answered your question, Nick. Just kidding. Asmi says, no, I'm not going to get into that. I heard you online, Big Blue, but the defense has looked solid over the past 10 games. Nabers are number 1. The O-line has been decent of late. King Supreme, I agree. But here's the thing. Who have we really played outside of Jaden Daniels? And Jaden Daniels was his second game as a rookie. Who have we really played offensively that you sit there and go, every team has had problems. Dallas, outside of Dak, they can't run the ball. Their tight ends have had issues. Cleveland has looked terrible with Deshaun Watson, and basically they're waiting to find a running game. They're waiting for Nick to come back. You got beat by Sam Darnold and Jaden Daniels, and Sam Darnold is right now to me a mirage. Who have you really beaten? Who is the defense really beaten? That's a really good stand-up team. Because one of the teams that had what I would say above average offense is Minnesota, and we got smoked. You have to look at your competition in reference to how your defense is playing. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Rocky, what's up? Case Keenum, Blake Bortles made it to championship games. You're right. Blake Bortles was a hiccup away from beating New England. Milroe or Cam Ward, please. I need like an addicted fans needs a fix. Said it before. I was not a big Cam Ward fan. I didn't really like what he did at Washington State. Was not a big fan. And I was a Carson Beck guy going into the season. But then watching that game, watching that Georgia game in Alabama, I mean, it was, I kind of looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, there's some things you see with Carson Beck that you're like, I don't know. He did try to bring his team back, but was it more that Alabama just laid off the gas? But I'm kind of like, I don't know now. And then I watched at the day before, I believe it was, I watched Cam Ward against Virginia Tech. And I'm like, okay, he's interesting. He moves well in the pocket. He actually goes through his reads. He can take off when he needs to. And then I watched Sanders against University of Central Florida, UCF. And I wasn't overly impressed because of the fact that he seems to target Travis Hunter quite extensively. And if you're just going to throw up a 50-50 ball to your star wide receiver, and UCF's defense isn't that great. And I just don't like that attitude. So I'm starting to go toward Cam Ward now. Hey, Tim, are you rooting for the Giants to tank? It's not like they ain't good for we'll screw it up. We'll screw it up. I like Milroy. You know what? He played well against Georgia. He really did. He showed something, but I don't think you could take a quarterback that high who you have to kind of look at and say, how high is his ceiling in the NFL? Or is he more of a college quarterback? I always think of the likes of Tommy Frazier. Now, Tommy Frazier, of course, had the injury. He had the leg injury. And I always wondered, what he would do if he ever if he didn't have the injury. But was he more of a college quarterback than he was going to be a pro quarterback? Because sometimes your ability in college fits the system you're in. And I don't know, like I said, because and you think about it, that Jalen Milroe has been with the team since 2021. He looked good last year, 2,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, I think 6 interceptions. I don't think he's thrown for 1,000 yet this year, but he's got 10 touchdowns and I think maybe 1 interception, and he's got the wheels. I don't know. We got to get more into the season. DJ doesn't have a strong enough arm to overthrow anyone. No shit. Let's say no shit. I said underthrow. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said overthrow. I think my 12-year-old brother has more of an arm strength than DJ. It's not possible. What about Barry Reasons? You mean Gary Reasons? Number 55? The linebacker with that huge stop against Bobby Humphrey in the snow in Denver on the 1-yard line? Know nothing about him. Know nothing about Doug Riesenberg either. The Ravens know how to use the draft the right way. The Ravens do. The Ravens are a well-run organization in reference to free agency in the draft. They have their up and downs and they make the mistakes like every other team, but they have more wins than they have losses. And that's what you want in life and in the stock market. Well, we never know how good Malik Nabers is until he gets an actual quarterback. I agree with that 100%. I think we are never going to know Malik Nabers' ceiling until he actually gets a quarterback under center who can utilize his talents. We did a whole video the other day on Malik Nabers, and we actually broke down his season. Now, the problem with Malik Nabers is, yes, statistically, he is having an all-world season, especially even for a rookie. 35 receptions, 386 yards. Problem is, he's only yards per play is only at 11 yards per play. He's only getting the ball 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage. So the Giants are completing the passes to Malik Nabers 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage. His yak is only 4.5 yards. His longest reception is only 39. So you're completing him basically 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and he's only getting an additional 4 yards after that. That's telling me you're not utilizing your skills. You're throwing to him short, and you're not throwing him into a position where he has the ability to make the big play. And your quarterback is throwing high, and you're going to get him killed. Rod Tidwell, our favorite new thing.
Quarterback sucks, man. Thanks, man. To get me killed. Throwing high and across the middle.
Oh, that's when he was Bubblicious. In fairness, the Washington game was ours, but we didn't win. Doesn't matter if it was ours. Didn't win. If Jaden Daniels was more of a seasoned quarterback, he would have ripped the Giants apart. But you're looking at a guy that was his first start at home. You got to win. If the Giants keep Daniel Jones for another year and make him the starter, it's gonna be an uprising at MetLife Stadium by the angry fans that want to yell, "We're not gonna take it anymore." Yeah, we are. I have watched the pendulum of Daniel Jones since the day he threw that touchdown pass against the Jets in preseason. How people booed Eli Manning and cried for Daniel Jones, and then I kind of watched the whole progression. And then I watched the 2022 season where he's winning, but he's not really winning. And all of a sudden in 2023, things started getting a little weird. And, it's just, I think the fan base, to your point, is pretty much, you're right, kind of done with him a little bit. What's up, Charlie? Hey, Tim. What do you think from Dart from Old Miss? First of all, he's an Old Miss quarterback. Jackson, was it Jackson? Is it Jackson? Yeah, it's because he spells it with J-A-X, I believe. Yeah, I believe it is. He's another one of those kids that's interesting. I think he's an interesting prospect. I think he's a kid that's he played for the Trojans for 1 year. Did he play with the Trojans for 1 year? I believe it was 1 year. I think he didn't even win a game. He's been playing with Ole Miss since 2022. He's this guy that's I think he's got to work a little bit more on his accuracy. I know it's weird saying that considering he's like 77% of his passes this year. I think he's probably going to be a second level prospect, but I think there's a lot of second level prospects in this draft coming up. King Supreme says Giant defense last year looked good against the Packers, Buffalo, and that last game against Philly. But how many games did we win? And I'm not trying to be mean to you, Kings number one Supreme. There's 17 games in a season. You can't look good against 3. You got to look good against 17. Just throwing that out there. Read where Cam Ward can't or never throws the ball in the middle. Here's the problem with Cam Ward. Also, people will say Cam Ward has 3 Biletnikoff nominees on his staff on his offense. Cam can only throw the ball where the play dictates the ball goes. And if they're not and if you have guys on the outside that you can get the ball to, and you have the velocity and you have the ability and you have the accuracy, don't care. Because of the fact that you're completing big plays on the outside. Like I said, I've heard this thing about Cam Ward. I just kind of laugh about it a little bit. Because of the fact that you look at the way his season is going and you look at what a different quarterback he is in regards to the way he was at Washington State. He's already completed 70% of his passes for over 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns. His average yard per attempt is like 11.1 yards. That means he's throwing the ball on average 11.1 yards down the field for a completion. The average in the NFL is like 7.5. So he's completing passes 11.1 yards down the field on average. So he's on average, his pass plays are going for a first down 70% of the time almost.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
Charlie says, ready for the draft, baby. Yeah. We're already there. Come on now. You must not be watching a lot of Sanders. I am. I have. I have watched a ton of Sanders, and I don't like his attitude. I think his ability is, I'm not going to say his ability is overrated, but I don't think if he would have came out last year, he would have been a first round pick. I think he would have been more into the second and the third round. He plays the likes of Central Florida, Baylor, Colorado State, North Dakota State, and he lost to Nebraska. He looked pedestrian against Nebraska, going 23 for 38 for 244, a touchdown and one touchdown, another and a touchdown. He's beating, I've said this before, you can only beat the teams on your schedule. Why we talk about Cam Ward's throwing the ball 11.1 yards down the field per completion? He's at 8. Why he has the 14 touchdowns, he's also got the 3 interceptions. Yeah, and like I said, he's matriculating the ball down the field, but he's also, when he's played against competition that would be at better level, he runs into a buzzsaw. And I understand you can only play the teams that are in front of you, but you got to think about that. Quinn Ewers probably should have come out last year, because if he loses his job to Arch, it's going to be tanked for his stock. Oh, his stock is going to be tanked. Quinn should have came out last year. I thought he should have came out last year as well. I don't think anyone thought Archie Manning was going to be like this right now. I don't think that was ever anyone's thought process, that he was immediately going to come out of the gate, in 4 games, complete 70% of his passes for 900 yards, for 9 touchdowns. And again, Archie Manning completes passes 11.6 yards per attempt. That's how far he's throwing the ball. 11.6 yards. So he's matriculating the ball down the field. Jumbo Elliott, an easy one, number 76. That's a very simple one. He's super accurate and polished, but when the game is on the line, who else is better? A lot of people. If you're talking about Sanders, a lot of people. Because I've seen Sanders choke a bunch of times. And again, you have to look at Sanders as competition. You can't just look at the fact that that he's got all these big plays and this. You got to look at his total body of work and how he has progressed or how he has not progressed over a period of time. I mean, this is a kid that, like I said, and yeah, I hate to say it, and I always do say it, but is he a product of is he a product of daddy ball? You always knew that kid that was a starting quarterback, even like on Pop Warner, whose dad was the coach. Hung Dave says, Tim, are we fucked this weekend? Yes. Jim Burt, number 64, the anchor of the New York Giants, nose tackle position. He was one of those Giants that the Giants just let go early. They thought at 6'1", 260 pounds, with the likes of Eric Howard coming in, that he was not going to be the guy. People forget that Burt played from the Giants from 81 to 88. So he was there for 7 years. Had that back injury back in 87, but then came back in 88 and played. I think he started all 16 games in 88. He was an anchor. He was a monster. Then he went on because we thought he was washed up. And he went on to those 3 more years of the 49ers. Eric Howard, big number 74, took Jim Burt's place. That anchor with Eric Dorsey. Hey, Big Nichols, if we lose this weekend, should we trade Slayton for 3rd and the 4th rounder for a starting cornerback? Big Nichols, I love you, man. You're not getting a 3rd or 4th rounder for Darius Slayton. You got a 2, 5, and a 7 for Brian Burns. What about Brian Burns? You got a 2, 5, and a 7 for Brian Burns. You are not getting a 3rd or 4th rounder. You get a 5th to a 6th rounder for Slayton. You need to be happy. You need to be like, we got a 5th to the 6th round. We got a 5th or 6th rounder. That's about what he's worth. As an offensive lineman that made more money than Lawrence Taylor, Brian Fox. How do you know he made more money than Lawrence Taylor? And did he make more money than Lawrence Taylor? And Brian Fox. I'm trying to think. Brian Fox. I don't remember Brian. I don't remember Brian Fox. We want great football players, not outstanding citizens. Lowell, we need some dogs. Roof. Yeah, we do. Just ask Brandon Brown. Mr. Rose says, praying the Giants can cut Jones, then draft Jalen Milroe, then dreaming of Milroe to Malik Nabers connection with Milroe's hitting Hyatt deep. I tell you, I have to go to I have to go with I still may I don't know. I keep I keep trying not to like Cam Ward. I do. I keep trying not to like him. But I kind of keep coming around that, yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe maybe he is something else. Maybe he's gonna be something else. I don't know. Should the Giants be sellers? Yes, if they're at this point, they should be sellers. We need to move on from Jalen Jones, not Nabers. A concussion to Dallas game. If we don't get Nabers' career, it'll be very short. I already said that. I think I'm worried about that big time. Hey Tim, have you watched the Arkansas Green? No, actually, I have not watched Green yet. Really, I have not. So I really can't give you an overall assessment. As you hit the like button, I remember Marcus from Germany. The defensive lineman, defensive tackle, I believe, 6'4", almost 300 pounds. Had a sack and a half, I remember, in about a 4-year career. I don't think he started many games for the Giants, though. I think the Giants should draft Gentry and the best running back out of Boise State. Guys, come on. It's not even draft time yet. I mean, I love you guys, but come on. We're not yet. We still have Seattle. We're a garage band from Seattle. Boy, this beast raising cattle. We got to think we can win on Sunday. I don't think we're going to win on Sunday, but you got to think we can win on Sunday. People say that I'm full of negativity. I think we're going to get beat 45-8. But I'm not being negative about it. I think that's going to be a hard-fought 45 we give up. And I don't think our offense is going to matriculate the ball at all down the field. But I mean, you gotta just be confident that this team can do something. That this team, you got to be confident that this is a NFL professional team. That's all you got to be confident in. I'm going to mention it again. We're going to pump it out a little bit more. October 28th, Steelers game live stream. We're going to be doing a live stream from Shannon Rose in Clifton, New Jersey. We're going to do on location live stream. And I thought about doing, this was one of those things that I was like, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to hurt me? Do I really want to be doing this? But it's like, okay. But yeah, we're literally gonna do this. We are literally gonna go out there and do it. Here we go. October 28th, Monday Night Steelers. I'm doing a live stream from Shannon Rose Bar and Restaurant in Clifton, New Jersey. It's gonna be. I think we're gonna have. I gotta go out there. I gotta go out there probably in the next couple of days because we gotta get everything situated. But I believe we're gonna have our own room in the restaurant, and we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a live stream. We are basically gonna be giving shit away as always. We're gonna give away some t-shirts. We're gonna do a lot of fun stuff there. So make sure you put it on your calendar. If you're not in the area, make sure you make sure you watch it. Make sure you watch the live stream. So that'll be fun. Yeah, someone actually invited me to do this. Are these people really crazy? I was literally asked to do this. And my first thing to the people that were running this, you watched this show, right? You've watched this train wreck. But make sure you're there. What's Razzle say? No one gives us top picks unless it is for Sexy Dexy, and he locked into the contract. So here's the question about Dexter Lawrence. Are the Giants gonna be good by the time his contract is over, or at the end of his contract? Are the Giants actually going to be good? Are we going to waste the prime of Dexter Lawrence's career? I wonder if Brendan Brown was a GM and not Joe Shane. Would the Giants had a better spot in your opinion? I think the problem is that Joe Schoen doesn't listen to anyone but Joe Schoen. I think Hard Knocks was the mirror into was the vision into the looking glass for Joe Schoen, and we didn't like what we saw because Joe Schoen didn't seem to follow anyone else's advice except for Joe Schoen's. And you can't surround yourself with yes people and expect things to go right. You can't. No. It's a really good question. It really is. And I'm just trying to think, would have been better. Monday night. These Steelers versus Giants. We only got it in right versus Giants. There we go. Do you really want to hurt me? All right, what do we got here? What does Mike says? Does this mean Hyatt will get off the bench? I hope so, because we got no one else to play. I mean, you just got out of the top 10 draft pick at running back. Big Nickel says, no, I mean, should we give up a third and a fourth rounder for Slayton for a starting third and a fourth rounder with Slayton for a starting corner? I'm trying to think what a starting corner would be. And I don't think it's Slayton in the third. If you're looking for a quality number one, it is not going to be Slayton and what you call it. It's not going to be Slayton in the third or fourth round. If you're looking for a quality number one, I think you have to get away from that, because I don't think that's going to be the case. If you're looking for a number two, it's like when Patrick Surtain the second. Giant fans were all excited. He might be available. I kept telling people, no, Denver's going to sign him, because you don't let a guy of his quality and his caliber at the number one cornerback position leave. And Denver was like, we want two number ones. Oh, I got to text someone back. Oh my God. You're not, if you're going to get a number one corner, you need to give up the first rounder and Slayton and maybe a fourth. Seattle doesn't really play anyone outside of their loss to the Lions. You're right, but what's Seattle's record? Seattle's 3-1, right? So you have to look at the fact that they didn't play anyone, and the Lions are a good team, and they ran into the buzzsaw on Monday night, but they still beat they still won 3 games. So you got to look at that. I've always said you only play the teams that are in front of you, and I thought they beat the Dolphins as well. I could be wrong. I thought they beat the Dolphins. I know they beat the Broncos and the Patriots, and the Patriots have a good defense, but I do think they beat the Dolphins. Just throwing that out there. Pepper Johnson, number 52. Him and Will Roberts doing the Ohio stomp on the middle of the field after the big Super Bowl. Ryan Nesmith, quarterback out of Syracuse. He was a bum. Culture Club, yep. Matt Cavanaugh, not another obscure name. Matt Cavanaugh, I believe, was with the 49ers at one point in time for a cup of coffee, and the Eagles before I came into the Giants. AJ says, hey, Tim, what do you think about Cincinnati quarterback? I have not watched, and I'll be honest, AJ, I have not watched many other quarterbacks yet out of the top guys. And I love having the college football thing package, whatever the hell it's called. So I get like 30 games, and I can put 4 games up on the screen, and I probably should watch it in my man cave, because like I have the 100-inch drop down screen and like TVs all throughout the room. So I mean, I could probably put on like 9 games and then Well, yeah, I probably could have won more than that actually. But I haven't had a chance to. Like I said, I'm trying to get through this season or portion of the season yet. I usually don't dive into college football till about week 7 or 8. But like I said, I've just been interested in seeing the top quarterbacks. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, number 85. I laugh because Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, you laugh because you're like, with that type of name, of course you got the name more in college. But you laugh because you think to yourself, he must have had all these touchdowns in the pros. And he was with the Giants for 7 years. He had 21 touchdowns. So, that's not, that's, I can't, oh my God. Oh my goodness gracious! I gotta get the car oil change too. Word on Miller Rose, he's idle. Just name the man non-first round pick like Taylor Green, Howard. That's the thing. We're gonna get into all that later. I want to get into the Giants, guys. That's a much better proposition, a third and a fourth and Slayton. But who do we get? That's the thing. It's a better proposal, but I don't think anyone's going to give you that for a starting number 1 corner. Because starting number 1 corners are a rarity. You got to remember that. We need Isaac Yiadom back. How bad is it that Isaac Yiadom actually turned into a player? How bad, we used to make fun of Isaac Yiadom, but he was a good man cover corner who had a propensity to get blitzed, but he was this guy that you could tell could play in the NFL. He just was not solid with his technique. That was his biggest problem. Stu says Slayton and Hyatt. We're going to give Slayton and Hyatt away. CJ Horn becoming more available as the Panthers lose. No, Horn's not going to be available. People think that just because the team's losing, that they're going to start dumping players. And I keep saying this, Carolina's defense isn't as bad as people think. And once they put in the red rifle, they became a different team. So people aren't just going to start dumping for star. They're not going to start, and we always want that to happen because we're fans of the team, but you have to be realistic in the fact that, you're looking at a 4-year pro in Horn. You got to remember, Horn has only played in 26 games in the last 4 seasons. He only played, his biggest was 13 games back in 2022. He only played 3 as, I believe. Well, I think he only played 3 his rookie year and 6 year last year. So yeah, no, people aren't going to take the 8th overall pick and just dump him for a 4th rounder in Slayton. And so why would Carolina, even if they were on a rebuild, why would they want only a 3rd or a 4th for Slayton? Because why would you even want Slayton? And my second linebacker after LT, Jesse Armstead, out of Miami, number 98. Know nothing about him as well. Josh Bell says, I mean to give the Giants a shot. They beat the Dolphins without Tua. Yeah, but they still won. We've said this before. Good teams win against the teams they should beat. Giants don't do that. David said, I made a mistake. It was not Brian Fox. It was Michael Fox. That, of course, Michael Fox makes more sense. Josh says the Giants are 2 players away from 3-1. You got to see the team absolutely has the guts to turn the season around. Josh.
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
You got to remember the competition they're playing against. Who you talk about Seattle, and they don't play anybody, but Seattle doesn't play anybody through winning. Giants don't really play anyone, haven't really played a quality offense, and they're not. I love it. I can't even get away to get something to eat because then the damn camera follows me now. I was hungry. Let's have a musical interlude.
Gotta get to work. That's right.
Yes.
Come on. My name is Willie. Baby, I keep the ladies screaming and all my fans got screaming. You can defeat me.
Had to have a musical interlude so I could eat something. Easy Ed McCaffrey. Of course, his career was solidified when he went over to the 49ers. Wanda Robinson has the heart but make him Sproles Brian Daboll. I've said this over and over again. Said it over and over again. You got to make him a Darren Sproles type player to utilize him better. I loved Ed McCaffrey, but we kept him as a great player. We got Renee Thompson, number 21, the gunner like no other. That special teams player on the Super Bowl team. Went over also to the Patriots as well. Sorry, yeah, I got it. I just heard about Sergeant Byrne being available. Of course, rumor mills stuff. Of course, everyone hears the rumor mills. Everyone loses. Someone needs something. There's a rumor mill. It's called Twitter. Madden trade. Would I do this trade? There's CJ Horn, Dalton, and a second round pick, and Daniel Jones. For a second round pick and Daniel Jones. I would do Horn and Dalton and Jones. I wouldn't give around the second rounder. Yep, that's what I think. He's available. I agree, man. Facts, Josh. Don't smoke crack. If the Giants are going to have a cheap corner position, oh yeah, we're not going to. We're not going to, guys. We're not going to. We got to stop. We're not going to. I think the Giants have like $1.5 million in cap space. What just happened there? Oh, one of my lights went out. Show me the honey dripped wings. Actually, no, that was a Wagyu cheeseburger. What do we also said? A few years later, we got rid of Ed McCaffrey and got his clone Joe Juravicius out of Penn State. As bad as 1-3 is, this is the best team we have had in a long time. Yes, I'm optimistic, but as Giant fans today, there's the only fandom we have. No, we don't. We have more fandom than that. You want to know why? Because New York Knicks Unleashed is out next week. We're going to be available. Make sure the 2024 season is going to be right here on this channel. It's going to be right where everyone else you do podcasts. It's going to be the first episode on Monday, the 2024 season. You got the Knicks. You got the Mets. We got so much going on. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. I'm a Yankee fan. Well, I feel bad for you, but I feel bad for you, but you know, I love the Yankees. I love Yankee fans. Yankee fans are this fan base that you take a look at their team, and I laugh because the Yankees won 94 games. I think they won 40. They won more games on the road. They won 50 games on the road compared to 44 at home. And they still beat the Orioles. I took the division by 3 games over the Orioles, 13 by the Red Sox. And I would have thought by listening to certain Yankee fans that the Yankees had the worst season ever. I listen to certain Yankee fans and I'm like, wait, didn't you win your division still by 3 games? They're like, yeah, but we should have won it by 10. Giants win it. The Mets win the division by 1.5 games. We're dancing naked in the street. Razzle says, so my fandom defense goes elsewhere after the first month of the season because the Giants are awful. The Giants defense will be exposed Sunday. I'm telling everyone this right now. They will be exposed on Sunday because while Seattle is not a top 10 offense, they are an NFL offense. We ran up against what we refer to as an average NFL offense against the Vikings, and we got manhandled. We got run over. Hey, the Yankees too. David says, I can't wait. I'm a big Knicks fan. Too bad I missed their last time they won the championship. Well, yeah, it was in the 70s. I predict 95 wins for these teams before the season started. Well, you were close. But I like it. I just love Yankee fans, though. Yankee fans complain. Yankee fans, make sure you hit the like button, all that stuff. Yankee fans can win 100 games and still not be happy. That's what kills me. Yeah, like I said, you would think this Yankee team was this terrible team, that was the worst team in the history of baseball. And like I said, and then I go look and see what their divisional record is and everything else. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. It's like I don't know what's going on here, people. Why are you so upset? If we had your record over the last, I don't know how many years, yeah, last year was a bad year at 82. But before that, you won 99, 92. Then you had the strike for 33, 103, 100, 91, 84, 87, 84, 85, 95, 97, 95, 103, 89, 94, 97, 95, 101, 101, 103, 95, 87, 96, 104, 96, 92. And then it wasn't until you got into 1995 was it 79 and 70. Oh my God, I wish I was a Yankee fan. The Cowboys were really annoying because the red zone trips that end in the field goals is the only team that isn't bad enough right now and isn't good enough right now, stuck in mediocrity. Razzle says, I'm a Yankee fan since birth, not a Twitter Yankee fan, irrational, emotional idiot. I can see that, Razzle. You're an astute Giant fan too. Jim, it's because New York Yankees teams can either win the World Series or get swept in the first round. But you know what? I would take that. The Seahawks offense, not a top 10, but NFL quality, which means we lose, which means you lose. I have to get that side. I got to get that sound effect from Ivan Drago. You will lose. Geno Smith found 7 wide receivers in all 4 games played. Yeah, you're right. There are morons in our fan base who want Aaron Judge gone after 2 bad weeks of baseball. 2 weeks. You know, I gotta be surprised, and I don't want to talk too much about baseball because I gotta get out of here. I'm very surprised about the whole Aaron Judge thing. I mean, Aaron Judge is one of those guys that, you know, he had the injury troubles going back from 19 in 2000. 2020, he only played 28. But then he's played in 148, 157. He had the issues with 106. That was strike year. It was 19 where he only played in 102. Then he played 158, and then still drove in what? I think it was 100 and I think he had I don't know how many home runs, but I think he had 140 something RBIs. Tim, after the 2021 season, this is the scars of Yankee fans. At least it stayed with me forever. I hate the Boston Red Sox because of 2024. They stink it up in the playoffs, though. I bet Judge doesn't even hit 1 home run. Hey, listen, I don't know yet. That's going to be, I got to get that one, Charlie. If he dies, he dies. I have to get it. I got to write that in right now. Let's see here. I got to text it to myself. If he dies, he dies. Sound effect. It's not as easy as people think cutting these sound effects. You know, there were some good ones. I still like.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on us.
So you got to cut them just right. You know.
This place is cursed.
You got to do it right.
All right, 1. We're going for 1.
That was from the win.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
I got a package coming from U.S. Customs. Your UPS package is been cleared due to detection of invalid. Everything will be cleared. The temporary detained. Please confirm the zip code, address, and the link. 24 hours. I laugh because we have a new sponsor, and they're sending me products to try out, and I haven't. It's coming overseas. Seahawks D has given up 1 pass of 20 yards or more in the air, and 5 passes that went for 20 yards or more total. CX has the highest pass rusher rate. Yes, because we all know
King of the almost sack.
leads the league in quarterback hits. The Giants scored 17 points of the Hawks over under Tim. Oh, under. Under. Tim, my name is Willie.
Gotta get to work.
I can't do this. Yes, the fucker goes with me. Where's the club?
Come on,
I can figure it out.
My name is Willie. Baby, I keep the ladies creaming and all my fans. I'm screaming. You can defeat me. You're dreaming.
I love this camera. I don't know how to turn this feature off now. That's the best part. Can you, we're the chosen ones from Star Wars? Sure. Can you cut, you were the chosen, oh, you were the chosen one. Oh, I love that one. Not a big Star Wars fan. I don't know what movie that's from, but hold on. You know what? I'm going to have to do I think that was from when one of the movies where it's like a Star Wars movie. Oh shit. I sent that to Lester. Wrong text. No. Okay. If he dies, he dies. You are the chosen one. I sent a text to Lester. I figured as much. I'm streaming, and I miss text. Oh my God! A possible Subway Series with the Mets in World Series. Sign me up and go for that. Hirschfield says, "What's up, Tim? It better not be your new sponsor. Gives you a new beeper." They should. Sup, everyone? Davey says, "How about that movie Taxi? You want a piece of me? You looking at me? You looking at me? I don't see anyone else here. Are you looking at me?" Shane already scouting college quarterback. He scouts. You know, you can scout as many fucking college quarterbacks as you want, but you got to actually sign one. It's one of these weird things. Something very wrong here. All right, guys, it's 1:26. I got to go to the dealer and get my oil changed. Got to go do some manly shit now. And don't forget, October 28th, Monday, Clifton, New Jersey, Shannon Rose Bar and Restaurant. We're going to be live streaming from it. Why? No clue. But they asked. You must be talking to me because I don't see anyone else here. But they asked. So we're going to do it. So make sure if you're in the New Jersey area, you got nothing better to do. Giants should be 1-7 by then or whatever it is. We gotta make it. What does Jeff say? Why is Jeff texting me now? Gotta talk to my wife, but how soon do you need an answer? Day before is good. We got regulars coming out, so make sure you stay tuned. So there's gonna be a lot of people that are on the show are gonna be live with me at the bar, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna do our Sunday Giant video. We're gonna do our Sunday Giant live stream, of course, on Sunday. No video today or tomorrow, but I do have a short coming out, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure everyone hits the like on the way out. I also want to thank all the people that have been watching and following us on Twitter. It's been fantastic. And as always, this is Tim, this year at Giant Straight Talk. Hi, everyone, online Big Blue LLC. Thanks everyone for coming in, coming out, and coming over. You know what? See you Sunday, guys. Peace. Now do the camera. Do the market with me. It still isn't.